we are live. Hello. At this point, just replay people.
It says there's nobody here, but that's probably not true.
Here they are. Here are the people.
The people.
Hey, you guys. She's Gone Country Farms, Heirloom Permaculture, Miss Smart Pants, Desi Lou's Garden, Sewing Your Heart, Mama Tried Homestead. Here goes again.
Comes every week.
King
I was
Fabulous.
starting to worry.
We've talked about possibly moving our live time, but it's so set at this point. 7 o'clock is still very much like daylight.
Well, it worked really well in the fall and winter.
Right.
Because it was dark. It was fine. Now, doing it at 7, we're like losing 3 hours of work time outside of it.
Right. Well, so like literally, I'm just like dragging in from the garden. I'm like, oh crud, we got to go live. So how are you guys doing? I hope you're all doing really well. Oh, thank you, Tiffany. We enjoyed giving you guys a tour of the homestead.
Talking about the video.
Yeah, that was it. That was a fun
video. I don't remember
video
anyone named Tiffany coming by.
No, that was a fun video to do.
The bees are doing fabulous.
Hey, Two Family Homestead. Hey, Single Dad.
That
Wholesome
and
Roots.
the horses are two things that I am just really fascinated with.
Yes.
The bees are like my thing.
Yeah, Jeremiah is very, very fascinated with the bees.
And I'm being a very good beekeeper.
Yeah. It's hot here, but it's not like super hot. We had some days that were getting up in like 97, 98, and that was rough. Today, I think the high was like 91. It's 84 right now, which is not miserable to be out in. So,
hey, Single Dad, Chris.
Oh, goodness. Danielle Logan, your first time to catch a live. Well, we're glad that you are here. Yeah, no, we literally are like just so we're looking at ourselves like, oh man, we probably should have we probably should have stopped in front of the mirror before we went live in front of all these people. Oh, it's okay.
No, to get the rawness.
I'm not sure, Megan. On melons, I mean, I would make sure that they're getting water regularly. I know that's probably obvious, but cool, Single Dad. A tomato ready to pick in the morning. Yeah, we've been outside, so are we gonna add peafowl to our collection?
Did you say the other pigs get 4 scoops?
The problem where we're at right now is that we have sorry, there's a conversation taking on right here, and I'm trying to listen and talk at the same time. Okay, so
just don't listen.
Yeah, we live really close to the road, and the reason we've never gotten peafowl before is because they're expensive, and we haven't built a structure to hold them. And so I like them, obviously. I mean, like I guess you could guess that I like peacocks, but I'm not really in a hurry to do that. Thank you, Phyllis. Chris was talking about picking a tomato in the morning. I got to show you guys what I just picked. Check this out. Any guesses as to how much this weighs? I put it in the vlog. Now, it's a little bit underripe. It'll probably be like perfectly ready tomorrow. But we've been having really bad caterpillars. See, reading and talking at the same time just doesn't work out well. Isn't that nuts? And then also I've got this one, which is not nearly as big, but also really big. 2 pounds, 4 pounds, 3 pounds, 1.7. I guess I can go ahead and tell you guys what it is. It's 21 ounces. This is a 21 ounce tomato, so just shy of 2 pounds. That's pretty good. And then this one's 17 ounces. And then I've got another Dr. Witchy's down there that's probably 2 pounds. It's huge. So pretty pumped about that. This is called Italian Heirloom. I got the seeds from Fruition Seeds. And this one has really been a star. I have 2 plants. I've picked about 6 or 7 fruits from it. All of them were at least a pound. This is the biggest one. But I have a whole tray of them that I just roasted.
Did you have any more ripe tomatoes eaten?
Nope, it was the chickens. It was definitely the chickens.
Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely the chickens.
Well, we've added 20 chickens, but I also put some pallets in front of some spaces where they were getting out of the fence, and so far none of them have left the fence. So
yeah. Hey, Big Bear Homestead.
What is that?
That's the Instant Pot.
Do I need to hit the release before it blows up?
No, it's natural release.
Oh, okay.
Dinner, which we'll be eating after the live because, outside time.
Pinky got their first ground cherries today.
Oh, yeah? Were you in love? Somebody said they thought something was going off in their house. The neglect garden in the back is not doing anything because we never planted it. We got alpacas instead. That's what it came down to.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
No, I mean, if you want to count that random squash plant growing up that old turkey house.
There was a lot of other stuff that was growing off volunteers too, but the goats ate it down. I put brisket in the Instant Pot, and it is going to be barbecue tacos. Not my favorite way to barbecue brisket by any means, but I found myself with no children this afternoon, and instead of coming home and putting the brisket in the oven and slow cooking it that way, I went to Guitar Center and played guitars. So, yeah.
What Instant Pot do you have? The instant kind.
I don't know which one it is. It was one of the earlier ones. I don't know. It's not one of the newer special ones. It was one of when they didn't have options. I have that one.
The OG.
The OG Instant Pot.
This is all about the eclectic OG stuff.
Wow, Westland, I love to hear that.
Don't get too excited, Chris. The kids are back. They weren't gone that long.
No, we went to church this morning, and my dad was like, hey, do you want the kids to come to my house? I'll bring them home this evening. I was like, why, yes, I do. So they went with him.
Do you have to bring them home this evening? You need to keep them for the week. Let's pretend. Let's play make-believe. I know your dad loves make-believe. Let's make-believe that you live really far away. And so they're going to come visit for 2 weeks because they never get to see you. And then we'll come back and get them.
Well, so he kept them, and he actually came home and was going to go help his brother with something. And so I'm literally in town with no kids by myself, which never happens. And I was like, should I go home and get work done, or should I go play guitar? Is a guitar center? I made a friend.
Look, that's not usually a problem.
We were jamming.
Was he slapping the bass? Was he slapping the bass?
Stop. Heirloom Permaculture. I saw the picture of y'all's dinner. It looked really, really good. That's how Angela posted it. I like to go like guitar center. Monique, I do grow root vegetables. Typically in the fall. In the spring here. I don't really grow them through the summer. Most of them don't do as well during the summer. I mean, potatoes technically aren't root vegetables. They're tubers. They grow through the summer, and I do grow those some. So am I getting a new guitar? Yes. I'm not 100% sure when. I'm still debating what I want to get because I'm one of those people that just splits hairs over decisions. It's very difficult for me to make a decision because I want to pick the exact right one. But I've had the same guitar, which I bought used. And it's a pretty good guitar, but it's just kind of very used. And Ben put his knee through it, and the headstock's kind of cracked, and it just needs some work. And I kind of want to get a nicer one. So,
if Maya can play with lightsabers, Jessica can play with guitars.
Yes, the crafting squirrel.
Let's just clarify something first. 1, there's not a lightsaber store. 2, I don't go play with lightsabers when I'm supposed to be working. But Jessica's an adult. She do what she wants. So if she wants to go play with guitars, that's fine.
I wasn't supposed to be working. I had work done.
You're so cute.
Hiking to Change. Daniel told me that you guys came in there and met him. That's really cool that y'all went by and saw him. That's really awesome. Joshua, if my kids show interest into showing animals, I would definitely support that. So far, they haven't. I think my little ones might be more interested in that than the big ones were.
To Homestead in the Highlands. Oh, she's asking Two Family. I don't think Two Family knows either. We don't even know
when the shindig
is. Yeah, we actually went to the Vincents this week, and we didn't talk about that. We should have.
Yeah, we just hung out.
Went swimming, ate beaver. I had a beaver burger slider thing. Then my stomach hurt later. It wasn't from the beaver.
From the beaver.
It was that massive grass-fed burger that I ate after the beaver. No, but I think we'll probably try and figure out the dates for that soon, because I think it's going to be bigger.
Yeah,
next
we're talking
year.
about doing 2 days.
2 days, and some other stuff's going to change. So we probably should start looking into that soon-ish.
Yeah. We'll get it out. We'll get the information out. Hey, Stapleton Homestead. Can't stay doing canning. I have some canning to do.
Oh, there's Sherry. No, we weren't ignoring you tonight.
Hey, Sherry. Somebody asked something about somebody asked me something about ground cherries, if you're having issues or whatever. If you want to put that, if you're already on our Facebook group, Friends of Roots and Refuge, that would be a good place to post that, and maybe we can troubleshoot it. So a lot of times I don't know, but other people will get the hive mind in on it.
Finding ground. Do you guys find time to relax in your garden space? And if so, how do you do it without seeing more work? We just close our eyes.
We spend a good time relaxing down there. Also,
the
we do.
pavilion has seriously helped. Having some kind of sitting space that has shade.
I think that we stay largely on top of a lot of the stuff that needs done. Like if you just work a little bit every day, then it doesn't feel overwhelming. Like there's not a ton of stuff to do. But then also like we kind of will work for a little while and then take a break. And it's nice to just sit and chat.
Chris at Single Dad Homestead. Let me just address this now, because Ben Vincent was the one who actually mentioned it to me, and I've never even noticed. What is this thing with the kilts? I never agreed to wear a kilt. And I'm not going to. So I don't know what he's talking about, all these men in kilts. Have fun with that one. Just saying.
We like pineapple ground cherries. I've got Aunt Molly's going, but we haven't harvested anything from them. But from what I hear, they're very, very similar. We don't have bad flea problems, Brad. This is not like a natural solution, but my dogs wear Seresto collars. They have for a couple of years. That's just what I've bought.
That works.
And they work. So I've not really tried to like mix that up. And we don't really have any issues with fleas. Of course, we do have birds outside, but I don't think that's why we don't.
There are definitely fleas. When the dogs knock their collars off from wrestling, they come in. It comes back. So there's definitely fleas out there.
We've never really had them in our house, though.
Yeah, but I don't think we've ever had them without Seresto collars for very long.
Right.
And then the cats, we just do a 6-month topical.
Yeah, we just put topical stuff on the cats because you can't keep collars on them. Joshua Hunter, I don't know when we're going to breed alpacas yet. We're really just trying to get in the groove with them and like learn them well.
City said, any man going is wearing a kilt. That's what I heard. Who is coming up with this stuff?
Going where?
To the shindig is what I'm understanding.
Oh.
Spirit-filled as a Christian Jessamiah.
I don't know that there's really like a definitive term for what it means to be spirit-filled. I mean, I just consider like walking in the Holy Spirit being spirit-filled, really. I mean, like if you're displaying the fruit of the Spirit in your life and you're walking in the fruit of that and you walk in communion with God, with the Holy Spirit, that's what I would say.
And how that manifests in your life is between you and God.
Yeah.
Because if he wants to do something weird, then that's up to him.
Are you growing market more cucumbers?
Growing market?
Market more cucumbers. It's a variety of cucumbers.
I got caught up on the market part. I'm like,
I don't think that I am. I actually don't grow. I'm pretty sure market more is a slicer. Is that true? I actually typically only grow pickling cucumbers, or like I do like the Armenian whites, because we juice and I like to make pickles. And so we just make pickles with what we can and then juice the rest. And that's just what I do. So I don't think I have Market Moors. I have Munchers, Dars, White Wonder, I think it's Yamato Long, Armenian White, Parisian maybe. I'm pretty sure that's all the ones that I have.
Real men wear kilts, especially when checking beehives.
That sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah. The Marine Corps taught me how to think outside of the box on that one. It's called work smarter, not harder.
That's funny. Smoked black pepper pickles. That sounds really interesting. I like smoked peppers. I really want to do some smoking some peppers and then drying them and grinding them into like powders. I think that would be really, really good for like smoked seasonings because I just like that.
Are y'all ever going to do a podcast? I can't imagine adding anything new currently.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I really can't. However, if you want a really good podcast, it's going around homesteading. Morgan Gold from Gold Trail Farm has a really good podcast where he's interviewing a lot of different people.
He can just interview us on his every once in a while. That'll be sufficient.
Yeah. I love that idea, but I truly cannot fathom trying to juggle another thing right now. We are pretty much at capacity for right now. So the Land has a good podcast. That's another one that's really good. And then there's a couple of good gardening ones, like Epic Gardening has a good one. But yeah, I just can't imagine.
Neither of us knit or spin currently.
No, but I'm definitely going to be spinning whenever we have our alpaca fiber.
Yep.
Hiking to change. I don't know how we keep up either. Things fall through the cracks. I mean, that's just like part of it, just trying to juggle so much. And we're kind of finding we have to adjust to like the new normal. And our life is very, very, very different than it was even just a year ago. In a lot of ways, it's a great improvements. It's awesome. But in a lot of ways, it's just more to manage. And our main thing is making sure that our kids and our family and our household really stay a priority. Isn't it crazy how good things can take your focus away from the most important things? And that's one thing that we have to really be very intentional about, to make sure that we carve the time out and give the priority to each other, obviously to our faith, and taking time to worship and to be in a good spiritual place, because we can't just, you can't just neglect that and stay okay. And then our kids, so we, are constantly having to readjust and constantly having to check priorities because we're just really, really busy. Okay, Sowing Your Heart, the strawberries that you brought me. Sowing Your Heart brought me some really rare strawberries, a variegated strawberry, and then some strawberries that had like colored blossoms. And Journey Pig actually turned them over. I thought she'd killed them. She didn't. They came back. She had like munched them down, and I was like, oh my gosh, this pig killed these strawberries. But they actually came back and actually do have some blooms on them. So they made a turnaround. I'm very relieved. That was one of the things that made me so frustrated at old JP. We do plan on getting fruit trees at some point, Linda. We planted them when we first moved into this place, but our goats got them. We didn't have a good layout.
There were some other things happened. There wasn't just the goats. They got one, and then I surrounded them with cages, and they literally just died. We don't even know why.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
We've talked about doing more, but I don't know where exactly we would put them. We have some fig trees and containers and stuff like that. So
it could have been a pollination issue.
Yeah.
Because one of the apples died, and I think the other apple died because they didn't have anything to cross-pollinate. Is that right? I don't know enough about it. I don't know
anything about them.
Then a pair died, and then the other pair died. So I don't know.
They died like years after they were planted. It wasn't right away.
Yeah, it was about 2.5 years or so. But they never really took off either, so I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
That's weird.
Bye.
I don't know what lanternflies are. So What have we been working on this week?
What have I been working on this week? My tan? Yeah? My dad bod? No. Trying to think, what have I been working on this week?
Barn.
Yes. Boy barn for the alpaca males. That's going well.
Yeah.
I worked on the front fence. Only thing I have left to do on the front fence is mount the gates, which will literally put a barrier in the front of our property to protect us from stuff.
Yes. That's been a comfort to have.
Just having the fence, because I'm like, I don't feel so much stress about the kids being out front, and like I know having the gates up and being able to lock them and feel secure, because our house is pretty close to the street, and you just, I mean, people stop, people just come to our place, just people who live in the area, and it just feels safer having a barrier, if that makes sense. Also, if our goats get out, they're not going to run into the street and get hit by people who, I mean, if you've been to our house, you know they fly up and down this street. So that's nice. Let's see. The well house is getting a few more touches on it. I haven't finished building the well house because I want to finish installing the well or the pump. And I've got to put some fittings on the pipe that's in the well and to put the cap back on and all that. And honestly, I'm a little nervous about screwing it up. So that's why I haven't done it yet, because I don't want to mess it up and then have to send back the pump or whatever. But I think I'm just going to be confident in my ability to figure it out and get it installed this week and get water running.
Yeah.
Then I'm just going to turn all the hydrants on and just run around in a circle.
We've got water. Come on, the water's on. The other thing that we've been doing is hanging out with our alpacas, which has been fun. Yes, the front fence will help keep the dogs in, which is a relief. That's a good thing.
Plus, now that I've got all the fence up, I actually have extra fencing material. I've got a whole roll of sheep and goat fence, which is like 330 feet extra, because I didn't have to do as much fencing as I thought. And then, so I'm actually going to replace the fence around what we call the human yard, which is hilarious because people are like, you have a yard for humans? I'm like, yes, because we have a goat yard and a chicken yard in this yard, and then there's the yard for my kids to stay in. And so part of the reason is it's welded wire, because we were a lot less, we were way strapped when we first, that was like the first fence or second fence we built. And you can buy welded wire a lot cheaper.
Buy Homestead in the Highlands. Good night.
But it breaks because they're welds. So the big old fat goaties would get on there and flex it and push on it with their fat bodies. And you could just watch it start to come apart. Just the little tick weld just pop. Well, that's why the dogs are getting out. They're just able to push under all the journey pig and goat damage. So I'm going to restretch some goat fence that's woven wire that it flexes with all the weight. And then honestly, they're scheduled for for a moment of silence for their testicles.
Con and
both of them
Bear
are scheduled.
Have an appointment in a couple weeks. Pobre Con and Bear.
I don't
will
feel
be
bad
better in the long run.
Yes, I'm glad that they'll stop trying to roam around and find those hot ladies.
Sherry, they're doing just fine. And the bees are also doing really well. Journey Pig is with Ben Turn. She's settling in. She's got a really nice barn and a yard, and she's being spoiled, and it's really good. He sent me, he showed me a picture. He's like, "Do you think this is good?" I'm like, "It's got like a nice barn and like all this stuff." I'm like,
he's just like all the other new homesteaders. He's like a helicopter homesteader. He's like got a camera set up, and he watches her during the day to make sure she's okay. But honestly, it's working because he wanted to get her as a gateway animal so he could get other animals. And already his dad's kind of like interested and helping. And so it's like, it's working. So pretty soon, within 6 months, Ben will have chickens, ducks, turkeys, goats, one horse, a mini Jersey, a donkey, an alpaca.
Yeah, Ben Turn's awesome. We like him a lot. And we're so thankful to have him around. So in your heart, I have not had problems with the squash ripening. The bees have definitely helped to that pollinator issue where I definitely had.
You had beetles. right? Or
Squash bugs.
So,
Yeah. No, I was having issues because they weren't getting pollinated, and they don't grow properly if they're not pollinated. And that is definitely gone. Yeah, usually chickens are the gateway drug, but I think potbelly pig is definitely like a good solid gateway. We got our new chickens. Actually, you guys haven't seen that yet because I vlogged it and then realized that there was no audio on the entire thing. So I was like, dang, okay.
Somehow the Rode mic got
unplugged. And I was like, oh, so that's why there was no video out yesterday, because technical difficulty on my part. I'll do a little bit of a voiceover or something so you can see some of the footage, and then I'll show you. There are still ladybugs in the garden. They're still there. Not obviously, I haven't seen 3,000 of them. Some of them must have moved on, but I'm still seeing them around, and I'm seeing markedly less aphids throughout the garden, which is definitely nice.
So there's still ladybugs around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've seen a lot.
Yeah. In the kids' garden, there are quite a lot down there too. The kids' garden, someone asked, is doing amazing, better than mine. And I definitely I don't know. I think that, and I shared about this in the garden tour that will go up tomorrow, but I think I'm going to wait next year to plant some of my stuff, because I'm always so chomping at the bit that I put my eggplants and my peppers in right after the frost date. And I did not do that in the kids' garden, and theirs is doing way better.
We were finishing some stuff and
we're
get
busy.
It planted. And so we planted it later, and honestly, that stuff is caught up to a lot of the stuff you planted earlier and is healthier. We've had
a lot of garden snakes. I just come across them and just kind of leave them alone.
Yeah, we don't really mess with those.
I don't mind there being snakes in the garden.
Plus, they'll deter.
Right. I mean, king snakes, I definitely would prefer to have king snakes there, and they are a deterrent to venomous snakes. And so, yeah, we see a lot of them. But
when did we plant the kid garden? Was it late May?
I think it was late May that we put the kid garden in. I have to go back and check the video to tell you for sure. I'm not sure exactly when I read it. Of course, Angel, anybody can come to the HOA conference. You can look into that and purchase tickets, but you don't have to be a homesteader by any means to come to that. Any of these homesteading conferences, I mean, there are a lot of people who come who are just wanting to know more information. I mean, we went to beekeeper class years before we had bees, it's definitely good.
Daniel actually went to that with us.
Yeah, it's definitely good to go and learn. David, I've not been spraying neem as often as I could be. I could probably have greater success if I stayed on top of spraying that stuff. We've had such sporadic rain that I've gotten frustrated where I go through and spray everything, and then literally an unforecasted rain shower comes in and just washes it all off the next morning. And I'm like, that's happened about 3 times now, and I'm just this is frustrating. But neem is good if you stay on top of it, and it does help. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a video for the 4th. Maybe not. I'm not planning anything special as far as video stuff goes.
I mean,
definitely going to be.
We're not so super American traditional when it comes to the 4th.
We usually go do
we don't spend a bunch of money on fireworks.
We usually go watch a public fireworks show.
We might do that. We don't really go to the lake and pack out a lake or anything like that.
I hate crowds. I really don't like.
I don't like going to a busy lake. It's dangerous.
Yeah, we're we'll just go to the lake, and next week when everybody's home.
Yeah, when everyone's sunburned and tired of the lake, we'll show up at the lake.
I don't know who's ahead in the grow off. I was kind of wishing that I had grown this one for the grow off, 20 ounces. That's kind of a monster. I've had some big tomatoes this year. My grow off tomatoes are looking good though, but these are just a couple that I picked that are looking awesome.
What do we think of the Holler's new homestead?
It's looking so good. Have y'all been watching their videos? Their place is looking amazing. They're going to do such a good job with that place. Definitely. And I'm so happy for them. Getting ready for chickens and all these different things. I know for them, it's just a relief to be parked and not moving around, and just being able to get a deep freezer and grocery shop and, just stay in one place, I'm sure is just such a relief for them.
Well, Ben's also being able to work on his own place now.
Yeah.
Instead of working on everyone else.
Yeah, I know. He's helped everybody for a year going from one place to another. It's really awesome. What is best for leaf miners? I'm not really sure. I haven't really had just a whole lot of problems with leaf miners. However, if anybody else knows here, I would love for you to comment and answer that question if you know what is best for leaf miners on plants. For me, the big issue is the squash bugs. Oh, I want to show y'all what else. I'm showing y'all all the good stuff. It was in the tour. I really want to go grab the squash and show that.
Fine, they're over there.
I'll be right back.
What? The snipers just hid that everyday care on accident.
They're probably trying to keep all this.
I know what they're doing.
Okay, y'all look at these. Look at this
they,
squash.
They undid it, so it's okay, but it's just funny.
Aren't these crazy? So cool, huh?
Wow.
I'm actually going to cook one of those for dinner tonight. That's the, this is the rampicante squash, which I grew up the trellis, so they're nice and straight. Whenever you grow them on the ground, a lot of times they curl. So I'm super pumped to try those. I've heard you can let them go and use them as winter squash, but I'm gonna cook those. The skin is super thin. Actually, that is where I just had it laid up against the basket, and it bruised the skin because it's so thin. So I'm looking forward to trying those. That I'm just gonna try sauteing them tonight. Like just dice them up and soften some onions and saute them with some coconut oil with some salt and maybe garlic powder and maybe some herbs. That's typically like that's my summer squash go-to. And then maybe we can try stuffing some. I don't know. My friend Nate grew those and he said he really liked them. I've heard some mixed reviews about them. Jennifer, uneven ripening will cause tomatoes to split and rot. I'm not uneven ripening, uneven watering. Like if you get, what is it?
Zach's got the phone back. Jen over here trying to go troll hunt and then snagged Kira.
Uneven watering will cause your tomatoes to split. Like if you get a really heavy rain, that'll do that. Or if they get too dry and then water. Hiking to change that. Are we keeping you awake, Maya?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because I'm yawning doesn't mean I go to sleep.
Yeah. We usually are dragging by the end of the day.
What is the star of the show for your garden so far?
The star of the show for the garden. I guess the big tomatoes this year have been pretty impressive. Those purple potted beans were so crazy prolific. That's been pretty impressive. I love the queen lime zinnias. That whole little bunch of zinnias is beautiful and just crazy prolific. So those maybe. I don't know that I have one star. Someone said Kitten George is always the star. I agree with that. He is definitely always front and center. Sorry, I have a teenager that's talking to us. We can't understand.
Just saying.
I want to raise the swing up there. Can I see? I don't know what to use to raise the swing. I know
You just undo it with your hand.
I can't.
No, we'll do it later.
So when I was young, my grandma used to grow bird squash. We would make a small hole in the bulb part and hollow them out and then plant them for a birdhouse to hang. Yeah. Whenever I was a kid, my dad's best friend, he actually grew birdhouse gourds all along the fence of his yard. And it's so crazy because like now looking back, I remember he had this massive garden and I wonder how massive it actually was because I was a small child. And so now in my mind, I'm thinking that must have been a 2-acre garden, but it probably wasn't. I was just really little. I'm sure my garden feels like a kingdom to Benjamin. But he had birdhouse gourds all down his fence, which was really a cool thing. And he would hollow them out and he had them hanging all over the trees and all that.
Yeah, I've never understood nap times. Like kindergartners should nap and an adult should nap. Like it's in between that, you don't need to nap. Like I think just like in kindergarten, you have to take naps, adults, like even in your workplace, Like construction workers are like, all right, guys, you got a 30-minute lunch and a 2-hour nap. We'll get back to work.
I do love a good nap.
When I was in Okinawa, that's actually what we would do. When I was in the Marine Corps,
thank you so
we
much,
would do
Brittany.
our job, and then we would take lunch. We get like in the Marines, you get like an hour lunch at least. It'd take me 5 minutes to eat, and then I would sleep for 55 minutes every day. It was fun.
The Hardheads Homestead. Good night.
Wow, that's a lot.
To
How
the
do they make up
mods
so many channels?
who do that, you don't have to just for my moderators, you don't have to just put people in timeout. If anybody posts links to anything like sexual on my page, you have full power to completely block them 100%. Like, we don't do slaps on the wrist for stuff like that. That's like goodbye.
And send a virus to their computer that melts their computer down and empties their bank account and then distributes it to all the viewers. Zach, make that happen.
Oh my goodness. Mark, I am so sorry. That is really sad. I wonder why that is. Did they have any signs, or did they just like drop dead? One of my zinnias is getting like a mildewy thing on it, but I'm going to try the peroxide on and then see if that will help.
Don't get it.
Okay, yeah. I need to leave it alone.
They're going to get it.
I'll talk, they mod. That's probably
how that's the agreement.
That's the agreement. Somebody asked me about bat houses. We actually have a bat house that one of our viewers sent us. We just haven't hung it up yet because you're supposed to hang it up really high. And I haven't. But bats are really good for pest control because they eat bugs, obviously. It's supposed to help for mosquitoes too, not just garden pests. Yeah, Kara, zinnias are like, they're very happy flowers. One of my favorite things the other day was Benjamin was going through and I was making a video. I don't know if y'all saw this on that vlog, but he had his little hand and he was like doing this like display of the zinnias. He was coming up behind each one and I was like, he's so cute. We do have a lot of bats around here.
Yeah, you can go outside and watch them at dusk.
Yeah, at dusk. We have bats all over the place.
Their erratic flight pattern.
Yeah. Someone said, I'm surprised that trolls come on lives where 95% of the people have ammo in their homes. Yeah, people are bold when there's the internet. They don't really care. Can you use rabbit poo straight on the garden? Yes, you can. It's a cold manure, so you can put it directly on. Do we have a lot of mosquitoes? Yeah, I would say that there are a lot of mosquitoes around here.
Mark said, no, they died a slow, painful death. Are you talking about zinnias?
Yeah, zinnias. Oh, that stinks. I'm sorry to hear that. Whispering Willow Farms. I was just talking about you guys. Look.
Is that Jill?
It's Jill or it's Nate. Look.
It's probably Nathan.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say it's Nathan.
Maybe.
Yeah, we gotten more hornworms since I went out there to
we're gonna go check them tonight with the black light. Jeremiah's picked a bunch of them. We've had a lot. They came out full on. VW Finley Farms, what's up?
Mom and Dad. We are going to check tonight for the first time.
So, Whispering Willow Farm is Jill and Nathan are friends of ours. I mentioned them earlier. They're the ones who are growing the Rampicante squash. And actually, I was out at their house a week and a half ago. Has it been a week and a half already? Not even quite. I guess 9 days ago, and photographed their baby being born. They had a baby girl at home, a home birth, and I got to be there for it and take photos. So, but Jill's already back out in her garden with a little baby in tow.
3 days after I got put in
she has
trouble.
A really beautiful garden.
Yeah, she was saying that she went out there 3 days postpartum and was told, get back in there and rest. That's some hardcore gardening right there.
I don't do photography much. I typically just do it for friends anymore, but I love getting to watch births. That's just such a passion of mine. And so it's really cool whenever I get to still do it for friends. It's usually a loose agreement because I do go out of town so much that it's like, okay, I'll do it if I'm in town. And I was able to catch that one.
Black rat snakes. So I love referring to the ones that eat eggs, which I'm assuming they're the same. They get on our farm, they get one chance. So we'll take them out and make them go away. if they come back and they're continuing to eat eggs rather than finding other sources of food, then they go away. That's just what I do. It's not going to be an argument. It's my decision.
We've only had
I've
to
only had to do it
actually
once.
kill one rat snake in
He
all
would
the
not
years.
stop going in the chicken coop.
We actually gave him 3 chances.
Yeah, but he still refused.
It was the same snake though. He was
huge too.
He was huge.
I hate snakes. They creep me out. I'm not the kind of guy. I'm not that.
See, I don't mind them.
I'm not going to jump on a snake in a kilt or in a metal suit.
Now, we've only found 2 venomous snakes on our property since we've been here. One was already dead. It had gotten squashed in between 2 pieces of metal, and one was in the goat barn. And we did kill that snake. So we've really only killed like 2 snakes since we've been here in 6 years. And like I said, I come across garden snakes all the time, and we leave them. We take egg-eating snakes far off into the woods, but we'll try to take them far enough, and sometimes they just come right back, and they're back the next day.
Like we had one in the duck house, and actually, it was when we were gone, and Ben was here helping take care of the farm. We were getting the alpacas. And he brought Toby, Ezra, and Ben out to help do the farm stuff. And Ezra goes in and turns back around and says, "I can't get the duck eggs because there's a spider in there." Okay? And he's like freaking out. There's a spider in that coop. A big spider. All right, so Ben goes and he opens the door, and right on the door of the duck, so you go in, the snake, a 5-foot king snake, is hanging there. Right? He walked under it and turned to go get the eggs and was like, "Can't do it. There's a spider." Walked back out past the huge snake. Didn't even see it. And Ben's like, "Why did you not get the eggs?" He's like, "Because of a spider."
And Ben's like, "Can you show me the spider?"
And he's like, "It's in there." And he's like, "You didn't notice this massive snake?" And everyone's like, "Ah!" But anyways, after scaring him off a couple of times, he has him back. So he gets to live.
Patient Wanda, everything died, but I learned tons. I'm so sorry. You're not giving up. Good. Have repurposed tons for raised beds, please. How long should the post be in the ground? I'm doing 20 in raise.
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
Are you talking about how deep should the post be in the ground? Is that what you're referring to?
Oh, they don't have to be that deep. You're not putting a bunch of weight on it. So like you would put a post really deep if you were doing like a tall structure that was going to have any kind of sway in it, because the farther in the ground, the more stability you get, especially if you concrete it. Fence posts, the reason you put those deep as you can is because you're stretching fence on them. So there's a lot of pressure going in different directions. On a garden bed thing, just get it in the ground so it doesn't move. And honestly, we only concreted the corner posts. We didn't concrete the middle because the corners act as anchors. And so the middles you just fill back in with dirt. And we only went 12 inches down. Sometimes we went less.
Grace Junction Homestead, tips for hand watering the garden. That's my prayer time, because what else are you going to do? I don't have any good tips.
Don't figure out something else.
Well, that's coming from the fact that we've been hand watering for years. So, yeah, that I don't have any great tips. That's not my favorite thing. What would you do for
blossom end rot on tomatoes?
I was going to answer that earlier. I think I got sidetracked. Okay, so there's some conflicting stuff about blossom end rot. I've always put Tums in the ground, and I've had people tell me that doesn't work, but I have noticed that the plants that I put Tums in the ground next to don't get blossom end rot, and the only plants that have ever gotten blossom end rot in my garden are ones that haven't had that, so it's maybe anecdotal. I've also heard that gypsum is good, and that's something that I'm going to try to go through with. I saw blossom end rot on one plant today, and it is ones that I had not put anything in on, so I'm going to try to put some stuff through. But overall, it's a calcium deficiency. It can come from too much water because your plant's not able to absorb calcium. And over time, I've heard that like crushed up eggshells and stuff is good, but all of that stuff needs time to be released into the soil and to break down. I would like to use the greenhouse to grow microgreens and stuff over the winter, Storyteller, and also just greens, period.
Hey, Robin. Jason is on his way out to the shed to moderate.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're
out tonight.
They sure are.
Crazy. I don't know. So in your heart, I mean, I don't think so. I'm going to add more just to see if it'll help the areas that I'm getting blossom end rot. And just
when is your music CD on sale?
My music CD?
Yeah,
I don't have one.
CD. Really? Why not?
Don't have one.
Mm.
Yeah, like I even have time to be recording a CD.
Hashtag music CD. That's the new thing since
No.
alpacas are here.
No, we're not gonna bully me into making a worship album. That's
not
not how
bullying
that
you.
works.
There's a very thin line between peer pressure and encouragement.
I don't think so.
I think there is.
Oh.
Get that air baby going, sister. Eat a mater sandwich.
Thank
Mater
you so much for
sandwich.
that. Yeah. Well,
Worship album. Hashtag record a CD. If Daniel was on here, he'd be with me. But he's watching a special release of Avengers Endgame with deleted scenes.
oh, is he really?
Yeah, he sent me a text, and they gave him this really cool free poster that he's going to give me.
Oh, that's nice.
And at first, I was thinking like it's probably like a put the poster of like the cover with like all the heads on it and that cool saying. But then he showed it to me, and actually, it's freaking epic. Like I'm actually really excited about this. Well, at this point, if you haven't seen it, you don't deserve to see it. It's Tony Stark's Infinity Gauntlet holding all the stones, and it says, "I love you 3000." So if you've seen the movie, you'll get the reference. It's a pretty cool poster.
Thank you so much for the super chat and for the encouragement, Rebecca McCabe. Fishes and Love's Life said Jason's bringing his marine issued wrench to the live. He's going to come and handle the... Oh, Allen Farms. That ain't right. We have a joke here, okay? Instead of peer pressure, I'm going to pray Jesus pressure.
Great.
We have
everybody praying for Jessica to release a worship
We
album.
have a joke around here about...
Dreams and visions, Lord.
We have a joke about, I'm just going to hand you over to God.
That's not a joke. That's not a joke.
You probably heard Jeremiah's mom whenever he was kid. He was a handful. I'm sure that you can't imagine that at all. Not sweet man, but yes, he was a handful. And his mom had a lot of stories about Sweet Maya as a child. And whenever he was about 10, whenever he would get too much, he would just be too much, and she would be like, I'm just gonna hand you over to God. He'd be like, no, you hang on to me. He's like, I'll do whatever you say, don't hand me over to God. That was like the final threat for Jeremiah to behave whenever he was a kid, is when his mom would say that, which is hilarious. Oh, Beagle family fun. Thank you.
Sweet, we have a fun going now.
Oh my gosh.
I can't wait to tell Daniel that you're recording a CD. Maya wasn't always sweet. I was sweet in my own way.
Thank you.
Number one fan.
Jeremiah, super tender and super sweet and super wired all the time. And so from what I understand, Jeremiah was very much like Toby.
People are adding this to their prayer list. If you start having dreams about you releasing an album, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to laugh so hard.
Jeremiah and I like recently got some stuff, and Daniel has been recording some music. We got him some things to start recording some music on like a more professional level.
Does not need to sing backup for the CD. She could just be on the CD.
Yeah. I know, she's still gonna be awesome.
And at the end of it, which I'm always drawing a blank. What's the youngest one's name? Henley? Yeah, we'll just have her talking for the last 6 minutes. Not even going to give her a topic. Just say, all right, and go. She's just going to talk 6 minutes straight. I'm telling you, it'll be our Billboard's 100 single. I'm telling you, that would sell records.
Daniel and I actually are planning on recording an album in the garden at some point. The idea of that is just crazy to me, but I'm putting this on my prayer wall. Y'all are so funny.
Leave Jess alone. Make your own CD. You've got someone defending you. Clearly,
thank you, Joy.
Clearly, she feels like we've crossed over into the peer pressure. I still feel very strongly we're in the encouraging side. See, if I touch her back, it's like encouragement. You can.
Hey, Naked Gardener, how are y'all?
Put some clothes on.
He came out and met me and Amy when we were in Dallas.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, he was not naked at that point, right?
No. Yeah, Jeremiah.
Listen, gardening makes you loopy sometimes.
Whatever. Good night. Okay, we're just gonna ignore that.
Hey, calm down. Don't give him the attention.
Um,
Zach right now is programming. Actually, I probably should get Ethan on this. He's actually a programmer, but he's programming the worm to destroy their computers and take all their money and distribute it out. It's a thing. Don't deny it.
Oh man. Yeah, we have the best moderators. Actually, let's take a moment to talk about our awesome moderators. And each one of these people that are popping up with a little wrench next to their name make it possible, because there's no way in heck that I would want to get on in front of 818 people and talk while people posted pornography links in the comments incessantly.
We just wouldn't do lives.
We just honestly wouldn't do lives if we didn't have our moderators. So please follow them and give them some support and love and tell them thank you for making this possible, because without them, we would not be able to do it.
So someone asked if I would post a photo of me riding the Tom alpaca thing. I cannot, because I just sent Morgan Gold a photo of me doing a particular face, because he's putting together a shirt
Yeah.
that we're actually going to release very soon. Or there's a couple of shirts. So our alpaca shirts.
Okay. My cousin Josh just messaged me
It said,
asking what the pest was on his long beans. It's aphids.
time to get some ladybugs.
Somebody asked about starting.
Looks like I missed Trolstis.
Elizabeth, I see
Well,
you've repeatedly asked about someone with schizophrenia starting a homestead. I really don't know, because that is not something that I've personally dealt with. And so I don't want to speak to something like that is such a serious issue without having actual like experience with it. But I really don't know. I don't like talking about things that I don't know anything about. I will say that as far as like having dealt extensively with depression, anxiety in the past, I think that this is a lifestyle that brings a lot of peace. And I do think that is a really healthy lifestyle overall. And so, I mean, obviously you would want to work with your counselor and all of that stuff, but I do think that this is a really, really good lifestyle for people who've dealt with mental illness, for sure. So,
what has been the most difficult plant crop you've ever grown and just can't grow? I think you probably have the
tomatillos. I grow ground cherries just fine, but I've never gotten a good
That's true.
A good harvest of
Pests
tomatillos.
get to get inside the husks and eat them out before we even harvest them. That's true. We don't, honestly, we struggle a lot with squash and zucchini.
Yeah. Yeah, because squash
because
bugs. The thing with them is we always end up with a lot of them because I just plant so much, and they grow really well here, but we lose a lot because of squash bugs. So, is there?
Also, someone had asked, do you prune tomatillos or ground cherries like tomatoes?
No.
You just let them go.
Somebody asked about the Missouri Homestead.
Is there a closer to Missouri Homestead Conference? There's one in Missouri in August.
Yeah, the Life Conference that Doug and Stacy put in.
The Homesteading Life Conference hosted by Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, and we are going to be there.
Yeah. If somebody has the information on that, I don't know if Two Family's still on here. They probably have the link because they're going to be there.
Someone's asking if I have a lightsaber, and they paid $199, so I'm going to go get it.
Oh gosh, y'all just like Jeremiah getting the lightsaber out on the live streams, don't you? Globe and anchor. He was a Marine. He was in the Marine Corps. That's what that's about. So, yeah, you moderators are on it. The lightsabers, the squash bugs have been relentless this year.
You said lightsabers. That's funny. So, here's the lightsaber. Look how cool it looks on the camera. See, it actually looks like a real lightsaber on camera. Like, dangerous. Don't touch it! That makes it unreal. Kind of ruining my phone.
Oh, man.
Just gonna sit here with my lightsaber. This is a aluminum handle. It's real metal. This is a very sturdy blade. This is a replica of Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber, in case you're wondering. It's very awesome.
Kira said it looks surprisingly real.
It is it gets without being able to cut your arm off. Just saying. All right. Jessica's over the lightsaber time. So there's a lightsaber, and only because someone sent us a super chat to see it.
Susie Edgar's son said
What?
broom when you turned the lightsaber on.
Broom.
Yeah. Jeremiah is totally a nerd. In the best way.
Yes, the lightsaber makes noises like lightsaber noises as you move it, and then if it clashes with something, it makes a lightsaber sound.
I really don't think you're going to get him in a kill. Consider it Joy Homestead.
What? No.
He does have a Jedi robe, and he gladly wears that at a drop of a hat. If you even so much as mention that you would like to see him wear it, he will put it on and wear it, and he would love an excuse to wear that in any public place. But a kilt is not going to happen. He just wouldn't do it. Bye, Grace Junction. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, Lauren. Oh, there's Lauren. She just told me she was going to be late today. Our friend Lauren sewed Jeremiah a Jedi robe. So, would you wear your Jedi robe with the bees? That probably wouldn't be he puts his bee protection on to go out to the bees.
I mean, I'd wear it over the bee protection. But no, I would not wear that only.
Oh, don't encourage him, Tracy. How many lives have you put on your Jedi robe?
One.
Just one?
Yeah.
It's not so bad.
No, but I've put it on for everyone who's ever come over.
That's true. Hey, I'm not saying that kilts aren't manly. Kilts are cool.
Hey, yeah, I'm not. Listen.
We just have no Scottish heritage whatsoever.
I'm not wearing a kilt.
So,
sorry.
Jedi robe bee video. Use the Force with the bees.
That's a pretty good idea.
I don't think you are any Scottish, are you?
No.
What
My
is it?
mom is German. My dad is half German, half Irish Canadian. So I'm a quarter Irish Canadian, 3 parts German, really. Now, I haven't had the ancestry, what is all my genetics like mapped out, but that's just what we know. My dad's mom did a Ancestry.com thing, and she's like 80% Irish Canadian.
Okay, you can get some water, of course. May the 4th be with you. That's funny.
So that's actually a pretty good idea. Next year on May the 4th, be with you. I have Jedi heritage. I do believe so, because this is a galaxy far, far away, a long time.
I saw somebody say hey to Natalie, but I didn't see Natalie. So, hey, Natalie, if you're here. We miss so many of the comments, guys. I'm sorry.
We try. We really
do try. I end up with probably like 10 messages after every live video of people being like, hey, were you upset or were you ignoring me? I'm like, no, there's just way too many comments to see them. So I'm sorry that's how it is. It's
Jedi robe CD.
Bye, Southern Bella. The Jedi robe. That would be funny. There's an interesting.
Maya looks like what I have always pictured Jesus to look like. Oh, Lord.
Like literally. Oh, Lord. I have not tried to grow Cuckoo's squash. It's definitely been on my list, but I just haven't got around to it. I planned on doing a lot of melons and squashes in the back this year, and I didn't get that garden put in. So, I don't know. Like, this garden year was not exactly what I planned on it being. Like, I had big visions for like the cottage garden and the back garden and all that stuff. And instead I've got just my raised bed garden, which is infested with pests. And it's just been it's been a tough year. Living Miracle. You got a Great Dane today. That's really cool. Our Great Dane has been an expensive dog this week. That's really kind of a downer after you got a Great Dane. I'm glad you got a Great Dane, and I hope that
it could have been any
dog. Lovely life with you. Our Great Dane has been. He had a really bad allergic reaction. He had hives. We had to take him to the vet, and then we had to take him to the vet again. So he's been sick a couple of times this last week. Yes, Kara, we got alpacas. So trade off. This was the year of the alpacas, definitely.
Alpaca trade off what?
Because I was talking about how I didn't get the gardens to where I wanted them to be. That was definitely the trade-off. And it was a worthy trade-off for sure. What type of dog is Bear? Bear is half German Shepherd, half King Shepherd, which is a breed that was developed in the 90s by breeding German Shepherds with Malamutes and Pyrenees. And so they're kind of like larger, fluffier, great German Shepherds. So that's why he has floppy ears and dew claws and long hair, because he's got Malamute and Pyrenees in him way back. So he's a great dog. Definitely.
He's exceptional.
The Bayou Bash is the Broussards are hosting, and I think it's July 7th. It's this coming up weekend. We will not be there because we already had other plans, but I think several people are going down to that, so that'll be really cool. If you're in, where are they? Is it Mississippi or Louisiana? Louisiana.
What?
Stiver said, Bear is my buddy. Sad he won't be so friendly next time I see him. Bear took a liking to Zach Stivers in a kind of inappropriate way.
In a romantic way. It's Zach's fault. It's that deep voice, that southern twang.
My new puppy he's a Great Pyrenees. We got him from Keto Country Homestead, and he is a little cutie. He's getting big. Toby takes really good care of him. Basically, like Bear is my dog, but we say he's half my dog and half the family's dog. And Con is half Daddy's dog and half the family's dog. And so when we got, like, Toby really, really, really wanted Gabe. And when we got him, Toby said, can he be half my dog and half the family's dog? And we said, if you take care of him. And so he goes out and brushes him and gets him out and plays with him and walks him around the property. And he's the one who feeds him and all that stuff. So yes, Allen Farms, Bear is exceptionally good. I mean, he's really got in him, like, genetically to be good with animals and stuff. And that was really awesome to come across him. You don't always get stuff like that when you're, like, getting rescue dogs. But what were
someone says, what do we mean when we say a legacy mindset?
Do you want to answer that? You want me to?
We can both. You can start.
Okay. What is that squeaky sound?
Probably a cat killing a mouse. Oh. I don't know. It's probably a chew toy, honestly.
Legacy mindset. That's a good question. Let's not get off that one by sidetrack. It's really just thinking beyond what affects you directly. Basically, that is how we just choose to live our life overall. And that just makes us have to take responsibility for everything that we choose to do. And it makes us have to take responsibility for how we consume anything, how we raise our kids, how we treat each other in marriage, how we take care of ourselves, like different things like that. There are a lot of things that, I mean, even still we're convicted on and that we're changing all over. I mean, like right now we're really moving towards eating entirely like unprocessed foods and making these small changes. It's all about just like one bite at a time, one step at a time for the long run and for the long haul. Because basically, like, when we first started homesteading, we kind of got caught up in this place of fear of being like, we've got, you know, the state of the world is like so fragile and we've got to get to this point of being sustainable at all costs, no matter what. And it was a really short-sighted goal. It was very fearful. And unfortunately, like, we just made some bad decisions in that, like really bit off more than we can chew in some different things. And it wasn't a long run sustainable mindset. And so we really started to learn about what it means to be legacy minded. And in doing that, everything has repercussions that last much longer than us. And like we recently shared in our homestead tour that we don't view this property as our forever home. And we've actually not really shared that very much, just because we want to be present in what we're doing. And so we don't talk about, well, we're not going to be here for a long time. But
I mean, we knew that we weren't going to stay here long term whenever we built the window greenhouse.
Yeah, we've known that for a long time.
Honestly, built the garden beds the way that we did.
Everything. I think that when we first moved into this house, when we were super fearful, we thought we'd be here forever. And we were thinking, well, we need more property. We need this, we need that. Like, we were so fearful. But then when we stopped and we kind of realized, like, okay, what's God doing with our life? Even before like YouTube, we thought we're going to outgrow this place. We're going to move on, but we can learn here and we can build here, and it's going to benefit somebody. And everything that we've done, I mean, we've put our personal touches on it. Like the window greenhouse says Refuge in it. Like there are things all over that somebody is going to end up with this property. And I don't know, those things might be huge blessings to them, you know?
I'm confident. I feel confident that everything that we've done and everything that we're going to finish will be a huge blessing to the people who get this property. How long are we going to be here? I couldn't say. I'll be honestly, like right now, if God sent someone into our driveway that made us an offer we couldn't refuse, that's how long we'd be here. Being honest, like God is going to have to work it out, because when we don't try and figure things out, like, you know, I'm not going to try and force the issue, but I'll be ready. The thing is that if your heart's in the right place, you'll be ready when He's ready to do something different. When it's time to go, we'll know. And so it'll be okay.
Someone said, wow, and the offers are rolling in tonight. Do I feel ready right now to pack up and move from this place? Absolutely not. Like the idea of just restarting.
No, it's terrifying, but it'll be okay.
But like truly, like here's how I live my life. This is how we live in agreement. Like we know this is not where we'll be forever. Like God's told us that we're going to go somewhere different. So what we're doing right now in agreement with that is finishing everything here well, like finishing it to the best of our capacity so that it would be how we would want it to be. Once we're done with all of these outside projects, we're going to start finishing the remodel inside the house. And we're just working on things as you know, as they come up. And then literally if at any point, you know, something happens, something changes. If we feel like, okay, here's where we're supposed to go, this is what we're supposed to do, we'll do that. But right now we just don't know. The joke has been up until this point. That makes me so nervous.
You know, my desire is to finish the things that we're doing, which, I mean, we are quickly within, I would say honestly, 6 months, I could have most everything outside on the farm infrastructure done. Like we're just finishing touches up on stuff. And so the other thing was the inside of the house, finishing that. But I mean, that doesn't necessarily, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, we're going to finish this. And of course, but God may have something else in mind. I don't know. But I'll be ready if that's the case. I don't know who's going to be here next. I feel like I have vision for it. You know, it'll be someone who values the farm and the garden and the amount of work that this is going to be someone's dream.
That is my prayer. When everything that we have done here, knowing that it is not for us in the long term, my prayer has been that we are sowing something into somebody else's. Like that's the legacy mindset, is saying, like, for instance, like we know we're not going to live here forever, but I'm planting perennials. Like we know that we're not going to be here forever, but we're developing things that are very specific to growing food and putting in stuff that'll be here for somebody, and things like the window greenhouse, which is very extra. And we're doing this stuff that's extra for our own joy, but to somebody, it's going to be a blessing, and you reap what you sow. And so I don't know what the future holds for us.
And that has also, there's a lot of speculation on location. That's also up for God.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know. There's all kinds of land in areas in Arkansas that we love. So there's really we have no direction on that for sure.
Yeah, we haven't nailed anything down yet. And so it's just right now we're just praying. We've been we've known this for a while now. I mean, everything that we've done and everything that we've planned, like the way we function on things is we really just ask for vision, and we just dream up like this vision, like we just pray. And we really had like a vision for this property. And it wasn't a matter of, it's so hard to convey this and like for it to not just sound silly, but this is just how we live. This is how we live our life by faith. Like I had like actual dreams of having alpacas here, which seemed silly. Like what was that? Like it just at one point we thought, how in the world is that going to come about? But look, it
Come
did.
to Australia.
Yeah.
The Vincents would be very sad.
Jackson said, I like that. Australia. That's far away, baby.
We'll put the alpacas in with the kangaroos. Kangaroos
Wow,
could be cool.
Tracy, that's amazing.
Especially if you want to learn how to box. 30 miles north.
So yeah. I don't know. I just think that right now I have so much confidence in things working out how they are supposed to, because that has just been the story of our life. It's been the story of our walk with the Lord. It's been the story of our marriage. This property in itself 6 years ago felt completely impossible.
Oh yeah.
And then
we'll be working on this stuff for the rest of our lives.
Well, before we got it, we didn't even think we'd ever be able to get a place in the country. Like we'd never owned a home before. And then we found this, the doors opened, it worked out. Since then, we've worked really, really hard, but we've had so many people just bless us along the way. You guys bless us so much. And I mean, like YouTube and being able to do YouTube has just blown the door off the hinges on the possibility of what we've been able to do here. And so I have this tremendous, like, confident faith in looking forward that wherever we go and however it happens will be the exact right thing. And that's why we don't push the issue. And we do make jokes about like offers, and we do make jokes about stuff. And I look at properties all the time. I have all kinds of real estate apps on my phone. I look at stuff all the time. We are constantly dreaming while still fully focused.
To tell us, this is what your future holds. We used to feel like, okay, well, this is the vision, this is the direction. Like we'd get so caught up in what's going to be that we would just completely disconnect from what was to be done now. Like if you are constantly dreaming about a massive 1,000-acre ranch in Montana and you only live on 4 acres, you're like, well, this is so not what I want to be at. You can be disillusioned. And I'm waiting for God to give me that. When God's trying to say, God, you do nothing, which we've done. And what God's trying to do is say, no, if I gave you 1,000 acres now, the mistakes you would get yourself into there would have much more catastrophic. Yeah, they'd make you quit. They'd burn you out. Animals would die. I guarantee it. Like he started this out here, and what we thought was, oh, this is going to take us forever. Didn't take us forever. We've learned so much in a smaller classroom that, now I really feel a shift in being able to steward a bigger property. And I believe that it's likely that'll be our last property, but I felt that about this also, so I can't really say that for sure. So it'll be okay.
I think it's just a matter of stewardship. Like, I think that whenever you steward what you have, no matter what it is, you give potential for it to grow. And so, like, there was a point where I couldn't do anything, where I literally wasn't able to put garden beds in. I wasn't able to do anything. We lived in a place where I couldn't have chickens. I couldn't have any of that stuff. And I literally planted every bit of space in my yard that I was allowed to plant. All the flower beds, I put plants, I put vegetables in all of them. I had all these containers. I did everything I could. I went to farmers markets. I learned to can. It was the fullness of what I can do. What are you laughing at?
Farm Dad will take you under his wings.
It was the fullness of that I could do where I was. And that, we were in agreement on that. And then it's just grown. And the more we've decided to work together and steward what we have, here's the thing. There's usually plenty to do exactly where you are. It might just not be exactly what you want to do in that moment. You might want to grow a massive garden, but live in a place where you can't, but you could learn to can. You could learn to preserve. You could learn to cook well, so that one day when you have the massive garden, you know how to cook from scratch. And that might not be what you want to do in that exact stage, but if it's what you have to do it with joy and watch the multiplication happen. For us at this point, we've just experienced such a massive amount of fulfillment. I just cannot express to you. Like I know it's a joke. Don't cry, Jess. Like I am in awe when I look at what God said he was going to do, that he did. Like, I'm absolutely 100% in awe. Just this YouTube channel, like the fact that YouTube gets to be my job, and I watch that number rise. If you guys have ever been in any sort of conference or public meeting event that I've ever been in, you've probably seen me melt into a puddle, because that's when it's real to me, that this is like real numbers equal people thing. And I just completely lose it because I can't believe it, because God said this. Like, I remember sitting in there with Daniel before any of this happened, and I said, I really just feel like God said if I do YouTube, he's like, it's my job, that he's going to put his hand on it and he's going to use this to grow this farm vision. I feel like that's what he told me. So I'm going to do it. I'm definitely going to do this, and with so much confidence that when he says something, it happens. And so,
so take tomorrow as tomorrow. Do what you can do in one day.
Xavier, you always say stuff and then it happens. So I get excited when you say stuff like that.
What'd you say?
As you are preparing your home for someone else, he is preparing your new farm for you. It will be an extravagant blessing, but beyond all you ask or think. See,
I'm asking for a lot. You do realize.
We prepare, like, whenever we think about it, like, we're prepared for the idea, like, what if we have to move on to completely raw land and build a barn and live in the barn for a while we like do everything from scratch, and we're prepared. Jackson is sitting over here. He won't get on the camera because he's a brooding teenager, but he's like, no.
He comes back from his friend's house and he's like sad. I'm like, you just got to hang out with your friends for like 5 hours. Like, what are you sad about? So, you know.
So cute. Do you want to come say hi, baby?
Hi.
Come on, come up and see your sweet face. Jackson doesn't get in very many videos, so you guys don't see him very much.
You know, as far as the, you know, the property and all that, like,
look at my handsome baby.
My suggestion is God is going to move on the person that's supposed to be here.
Yeah, I agree entirely.
So,
and it'll work out how it's supposed to. Jane.
But if you guys want to email your offers,
I'd force any of my kids to be on YouTube. If they don't want to be on videos, I do not make them, and I don't coerce them. And so you don't see my older kids, because a lot of times they're like, don't video me. I don't want to do that. And so occasionally they'll have a wild hair and they'll decide to be in something.
If you want me to, like, I will. Like,
if I asked him to,
I think that if I brought Jackson out to like work on stuff.
Hey, Carol Ann said, hey, she's with her dad.
Hi.
He said hi. Carol Ann, Big Bear.
Oh.
Big Bear has awesome daughters. Jason and Robin have got the sweetest girls. They're so much fun to be around. I love when they were here and we got to go there. They're super fun. But Carol Ann and Jackson are the same age and they're good friends and they hang out. 40 acres and a mule with lots of extras now. I'm not sure what the context of that was. Oh, Lane said hi too. Look, all of your YouTube friends.
Hey, Lane.
We actually,
that's so cool.
This is actually really cool. We actually, we're going to the expo in California in September, and we actually get to bring Jackson and Asher with us. We're going to bring them. We're not taking all our kids because we wouldn't be able to actually meet with people. They're a lot to keep up with in public places like that. But Jackson and Asher are going to get to go, and I am super, super pumped to get to bring them. So a lot of you guys will get to meet them then. Wow, Paige, that really blesses my heart to hear.
I have a couple pieces of property to sell. We have to sell this place first. Like, we ain't moving from here without selling it first. That's for sure.
Hey, Goldshaw Farm. Wendy Vaughn, we want to go to Utah or Wyoming, but we're debating that Utah state tax. I don't know anything about like that area. And we don't know. We really just, we don't have any plans, because here's the thing, like right now we're really like focusing hard, doing Dave Ramsey, paying off our debt and like focusing on that. We do have a lot of positive when we got it, and we have done a ton of work on this place. So basically we will have to sell our house before we move somewhere else. And that, just the logistics of that, that's a lot. because we're moving with 45 animals, large animals. So that will be a lot. So we don't have anything figured out. That's basically where we're at. We don't have anything figured out. We have known this for a while, that this was like in our future. We felt this. We've prayed about it. We've decided, what does it look like here? We've agreed. A legacy mindset sows where you are. I preach that to you guys all the time. Turn your waiting room into a classroom. Sow where you are. Reap the lessons of it, even if you're not going to be the one to reap the harvest. That is so our beliefs. And so we talked about it, and we're like, you know what? We know we won't be here forever. We're going to trust God to work that out, but we're going to work as if this place will always be ours, because it's going to matter to somebody. And we just shared it with you guys like last week, but not because we have anything like nailed down. We don't at all, but we just kind of wanted to let you guys in on the fact, because we're talking about our plans, and we're reaching the end of what we had planned for here is basically what we're at. Once these fences are up and these alpaca barns are built and all of these animals are in all of these places, we're just going to maintain. We're going to do our kitchen remodel and do the things we were going to do here, but that's it.
Diane Rosa wanted us to say hi to her fiance, Greg. So what's up, fiance Greg? How are you?
That is the countryest
Fiance.
French accent.
I'm not pretending to be French. I'm just saying the word. Why are you always laughing at me?
You're just the cutest.
You're always laughing.
What's a Dave Ramsey? It's a plan
What's
to get out
Dave
of
Ramsey?
It's a plan to get out of debt. Dave
It's
Ramsey is a
a
teacher.
ram that you named Dave, and then he headbutts things. And you call him Dave Ramsey.
He's got books and different things out, different programs that teach you how to get out of debt, and it's a very good program if you're really seriously wanting to get out of debt.
We use iMovie to edit all of our videos because
we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, we got time for that. We ain't like Morgan Gold. You can't Photoshop people's faces onto TomTom. Crazy stuff. No, we can't.
Yes, Dave Ramsey has a YouTube and a podcast and all kinds of stuff. Wow, Sarah, congratulations. That's awesome. That's really awesome.
Me and Dave have a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, we're definitely in the part of the Dave Ramsey thing where you don't love Dave Ramsey, but like we know we will love Dave Ramsey. It's hard to take it seriously and really like be like, okay, we're going to do this.
Hello,
and
Wanda.
It's not Dave's fault that we got into debt.
What's up, Wanda? Mama Wanda? I just like saying hi to people who ask me.
I don't have a photography website, Wendy. I just don't have the time right now to do all of that.
Yes, we edit with iMovie, just a free program from Apple.
Yeah. Cool. Hiking to change. That's really awesome.
Are you ready to wrap this up?
Yep, it's 8:30.
Anywhere near Dayton, Ohio. No idea. All right, let's wrap it up.
Okay. So much for hanging out with us tonight. I keep seeing Steph thinking that I'm gonna.
Her mom is talking to the TV. That's so
what?
funny. The lady I said, "Hey, Mama."
Oh yeah.
She's talking back to TV. She can't.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's so sweet.
One more question. How's the drone learning coming?
Nah, I haven't flown.
Yeah.
Yet. I'm going to. I really am.
Alrighty. Thank you guys.
We're looking for some drone footage this week.
Y'all, Big Bear has to clean my troll gun
now.
Y'all, please go follow our moderators. Guys, go ahead and throw a comment up here so everybody can see you. Please just go and give them some love and support. I know I said that earlier, but they really do make this possible. And we're so appreciative of them. Good night, you guys. We adore you all. We're so thankful for you and everything that you do to encourage and support us. So we bless you.
Bye.
Until next time. Oh, you're